I don't know why I'm smiling. This is a horrible thing we're talking about. Also, I'm not bald. My hair is just braided back. Girl, it looks like I have a patch. It's not a patch. I had my doobie, my do-rag on, and it was separate. What? Who cares, girl? Anyway, let's talk about the death of Rebecca Zahau. Terrible, truly terrible. Rebecca Maui Zahau, born March 15th, 1979, passed away on July 13th, 2011, which here was 10 years ago, almost 11. Also known as Rebecca, why can't I say Rebecca? Nalepa, was found sensitive. I'm sorry, y'all. Trigger warnings for everything. Everything. Okay, be warned. She was found hanging at the Spreckles Mansion, which is the dumbest name for a mansion. But this Mr. Spreckles, and he had a mansion in Coronado, California, on the day I already told you, and was pronounced dead by first responders called to the residence. Zahau's death occurred 2 days after 6-year-old Max Shacknai, the son of her boyfriend Jonah Shacknai, who apparently is just a chin. He's just a chin. Let's see if we can get there. Oh, God. Not for me. Had fallen from the staircase of the mansion and was in critical condition in a hospital. Rebecca Zahau and her younger sister Zena were the only people present at the time of Max's fall. Subsequently, on July 16, 2011, Max Shacknai died of his injuries. It's terrible. Everything is terrible. San Diego Sheriff Bill Gore announced on September 2nd, 2011 that Zahau's death was a suicide, while younger Shacknai's death had been ruled an accident, and that neither was the result of foul play. Members of Zahau's family disputed this finding and filed a $10 million wrongful death lawsuit against Shacknai's brother Adam, and we'll get to why. The jury in the civil trial found Adam Shacknai responsible for Zahau's death and granted her family a $5 million judgment for loss of love and companionship, as well as an additional $167,000 for the loss of financial support Zahau would have provided her mother and siblings. In February 2019, Shacknai appealed the judgment, with the defense arguing procedural errors and juror misconduct. Prior to final arguments being presented to the judge, Shacknai's insurance company and the Zahau family reached a settlement of $600,000, resulting in the civil case being dismissed with prejudice and vacating the original $5 million judgment, which, girl being the family. Like, girl, you vacated your $5 million is not enough for the life of your family member, but $600,000 is also not enough for the life of your family member. Rebecca Zahau was born on the date I already told you. She was of Burmese immigrant origin. She was born in Phalam, Chin State, a town in the Chin Hills in northwestern Burma, to her father, Kwa Nin Thang, and mother, Zong Tin Par, also known as Pari. Zahau came from a family of Chin ethnicity and was raised as a Protestant. After living in Nepal and Germany, Zahau moved to the US about 10 years before her death. Zahau's parents and most family members lived in St. Joseph, Missouri. She had an older sister, Mary Zahau Lohner, a younger sister, Snoam Horwath, who lives in Germany, and a teenage sister, Zena Zahau, among other siblings. Why my contact just dried out like that? That's so rude. In August 2009, Zahau was arrested for shoplifting after stealing $1,000 worth of jewelry from a Macy's in Phoenix, Arizona, to which she pled guilty. I don't know what that got to do with her being killed. In 2002, she married then 36-year-old nursing student Neil Nalepa of Scottsdale, Arizona. They divorced in February 2011. She worked as an ophthalmic technician until quitting in December 2010. In 2008, Zahau began dating Josh Shacknai, the CEO of Medix Pharmaceutical, which is a medical cosmetics company, honey. We could tell by his face, child. Ooh. While she was still married to Nalepa, Shacknai's position at Medix made him the ninth highest paid CEO in Arizona, earning $6.4 million in 2010. He had two previous marriages. His first marriage to Kimberly Jones, not Lil' Kim, resulted in a divorce and a 3-year custody fight over the couple's 2 children. He had a son, Maxfield Aaron, known as Max Shacknai, who was born June 7, 2005 and died July 16, 2011, with second wife, Dina Romano. We're not really here to talk about Max's death, but he fell face first over a second-floor banister, suffering injuries to his spinal cord and facial bones, and that affected his heart rate and breathing. Zahau says she went to the bathroom and she found Max moments later, and her younger sister called 911. The young man did pass away, as we discussed. Zahau. Oh, this is rough, child. Who is it? Oh. My phone started vibrating, excuse it. On July 12th, 2011, Zahau dropped off Zena at the airport for her flight back to Missouri, and then picked up Shacknai's brother Adam, who had just arrived on a flight from Memphis, Tennessee. Zahau, Shacknai, and Adam. Ain't Adam a Shacknai too? Why can't it just say Zahau and the Shacknai? Anyway, ate dinner with a friend named Howard that evening. Zahau and Adam returned to the Spreckles mansion. What a dumb name. While Jonah reportedly kept a vigil at Max's bedside with Max's mother. Dina Romano, with Max's mother, Dina Romano. My God. He would leave the hospital to recuperate at the nearby Ronald McDonald House. Where there were reports of loud music coming from the Spreckles mansion later that night. On the morning of July 13th at roughly 6:45 a.m., Adam stated that he found Zahau's body nude, hanging from a balcony with her wrists and ankles bound and her hands behind her back. Suspicious. Zahau was gagged with a blue long-sleeve t-shirt wrapped around her head with the sleeves double knotted and stuffed into her mouth. There was also what appeared to be tape residue on her legs. Adam called 911 at 6:48 a.m., then sent a text message to his brother to inform him of the news. He cut down Zahau's body before the police arrived. Medics attempted to revive her but pronounced her dead at the scene. Police initiated forensic and toxicology testing on her body as part of an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Speculations of foul play began early on in the case. However, investigators were unable to find any other DNA at the scene besides Zahau's. On September 2nd, the San Diego County Sheriff's Department formally announced their finding that Zahau committed suicide. But somehow she was able to gag herself and bind up her arms and legs and the injury. Okay. Evidence considered. Zahau's autopsy, wow, I put a T in the wrong place. Autopsy results revealed 4 instances of head trauma, about which investigators and outside commentators expressed various theories. San Diego medical examiner Jonathan Lucas stated that because there was evidence that she went over the balcony in a non-vertical position, she may have struck her head on the balcony on the way down. Verna Spitz, honey, the legend who has done all the investigations, child, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, testified at Casey Anthony and Phil Spector, honey. Verna be everywhere, child. He was an expert witness. I just told you, trial Casey Anthony. My God, I can't talk. We'll be talking about her eventually, I'm sure. said it was a possibility, stating when the body first dropped, she doesn't necessarily jump to her death, so she would drop directly down. So she would drop directly downward and she could easily hit against the side of the structure from which she is hanging. However, he noted that to draw a stronger conclusion, he would have preferred to see what the body looked like before the wrist bindings were removed. Forensic consultant Dr. Maurice Godwin expressed doubt, stating the chances of bumping into the railing, going over the balcony, and hitting your head 4 times is highly unlikely. Especially hard enough for it to be in your autopsy, child, because like I bump my head all the time. I don't think that's going to be in my autopsy. A second autopsy on Zahau was conducted by pathologist Dr. Cyril Wecht at her family's request. Doctor testified that he believed fractures in Zahau's throat were caused by manual strangulation, not by suicidal hanging. He further stated that he thought Zahau's death was homicide. An attorney for Zahau's family, my God, stated that other inaccuracies were found with the sheriff's department's investigation, including evidence that indicated that Zahau was lower body assaulted before her death. Family members expressed suspicions for why Zahau's hands and feet were bound. San Diego Sheriff Roy Frank stated there are documentaries of incidents throughout the country where people have secured their feet and hands as well to commit suicide, to prevent themselves from changing their minds. Police, I feel like, girl, if I'm in the throes of killing myself and I change my mind, I should be allowed to do that. Who am I to take away my decision to decide? Police reenacted the scenario in an effort to determine whether it would have been possible for Zahau to bind herself in that fashion, and showed a video demonstration in which a woman wrapped a rope around her hand several times in front of her, slipped one hand out of the binding, then placed her hands behind her back, rebound them, and tightened the bindings with the aid of string similar to the one which police found in Zahau's hands. A message had been painted on the door of the room leading to the balcony below where police found Zahau's body. According to Zahau's ex-husband, Nalepa, it read, "She saved him, can he save her?" Girl, what? Officials initially declined to confirm this. In media comments, Sheriff Gore only stated that it was not a clear suicide note. However, investigators took it as further evidence of suicide. I don't know how, because what do that mean? What do we mean? Zahau liked to paint as a hobby and had signed her paintings in the past. Her siblings contended that the message did not match her handwriting. Nalepa also stated the note did not appear to be something Zahau would have written. Police searched Verizon and AT&T with search warrants to obtain cell phone billing records, and took Zahau's Samsung Focus. What is the Focus? Oh yeah, I remember this. What a cute little phone. As evidence, God blocked it. According to AT&T records, from roughly 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., Zahau talked and texted with her older sister, Mary, who confirmed that Zena had arrived home safely. At 10:48 p.m., Zahau received a text message from Nina Romano, the twin sister of Shaknai's ex-wife, who wanted to stop by the house and talk about Max's accident. Zahau did not reply to that message. Police said Zahau checked her voicemail a few hours later at 12:50 a.m. and listened to a message. Billing records do not show who left the message. Police stated it was a message regarding the worsening of Max's condition, but declined to confirm at the time who left the message. Mary stated that the police told her it was Jonah Shaknai, the daddy. The message was deleted, meaning that the police and the House family never heard the contents of the message. Investigators did not attempt to power up or operate the cell phone, fearing they might overwrite evidence contained in its memory. Instead, they tried to determine whether forensic software was available, which would allow them to examine that model of phone. On August 15th, unable to identify any such technology, a detective turned on the phone and conducted a manual search of it, finding that the voicemail message was not stored on the phone. They did not request that AT&T try to retrieve the deleted message from its servers. Later, on September 21st, an investigator announced, because we're trying to be serious, announced that they would be using new technology to copy the phone's data for further investigation. In early October, investigators completed their second examination of the phone, stating that they did not uncover any additional information and would soon return it to Zahau's family. Public and media. The death drew intense public and media scrutiny. On July 14th, Medicis had its sharpest one-day decline in stock prices since February. News of the investigations received international coverage in various countries, including Brazil, New Zealand, Finland, Spain, and the UK, throughout July and August. In early September, various Forbes writers, including true crime writer Kathleen, honey, no, that's a different Kathleen. The Kathleen that uncovered the Golden State Killer or whoever. Anyway, whatever. And lawyer Victoria Pension expressed doubts about the investigators' conclusions. Pension described the ruling as an embarrassing public blunder. I agree. The Daily Beast published a column by trial lawyer Roy Black in which he criticized half-baked theories about Zahau's death, in particular stating the lack of DNA evidence. How could anyone do all this without leaving behind a scintilla of microscopic evidence? They would have to have been wearing a full rubber suit or some type of space suit and levitated over the scene, he says. He called on the media and public to stop calling it murder. On September 19th, it was reported that local Coronado author Kathleen McKenna would be writing a book on the case. McKenna expressed doubts that Zahau's death was a suicide, as do I. Family members, honey, we scooting on down to family. And people close to Zahau expressed doubt that her death was a suicide. Her younger sister, Snow Horath, insisted Becky, I guess her name was Rebecca. Becky did not commit suicide. My sister was murdered. Her former trainer also stated that she was always happy and always smiling when she came in. I didn't see a problem or anything like that. Family members disputed police characterizations of Zahau as depressed, describing her instead as a happy person. Furthermore, they state that Zahau believed as a Christian that suicide was wrong, child. After the suicide ruling, Nalepa was quoted stating, "I would not believe Rebecca would commit suicide. It's out of character." Now listen, I think she was murdered, I do. But y'all can't put suicide past the girls. The girls be acting like they happy and they don't be. However, Sheriff Gore, who investigated the death, stated of the family's reluctance to accept the suicide ruling. "We laid out the case extensively to them in Missouri to answer their questions, and it's unfortunate Zahau's sister can't accept the results." Because, girl, never mind. On September 7th, the family launched the website justiceforrebecca.org. Let's slide over to justiceforrebecca.org, child. Let's see what they got going on over there. Is it still up? No, it's expired. Seeking donations to fund their own investigation into Zahau's death. The site states it was obvious that the sheriff's department had worked too hard to paint this picture of suicide, and they were not about to let the Zahaus ruin it. In late September, they continued to demand the case be reopened. Me too. On September 20th, 2011, Jonah Shacknot wrote a letter to then California Attorney, my God, today, General Kamala Harris, we know her, requesting a state review of the investigation. Shacknot himself did not doubt the findings of investigations, but said he hoped a review would bring confidence, comfort, and resolution to others close to Zahau. However, Chief Assistant Attorney General Dane Gillette, "I am struggling," replied the following day, stating that "we must decline your invitation to review this investigation at this time." I decline. watching me. Jill Scott for you. On September 30th, family members appeared on NBC's Today and called for a completely independent investigation by the state attorney general's office. Y'all can read the lawyers and public relations personnel when you get some time. It really ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about, which is the murder. The girl was murdered. I don't know why this article doesn't really talk about it, but the brother, Adam, if anybody murdered this woman, it was Adam. Period. Anyway, child, thanks for dropping by, honey, for True Crime Tuesday. Look at me saying it right. Yeah, this is a terrible case. Let me know what you think in the comments, how you feel about it, who you think did it. Do you think it was suicide? Do you think it was not? Holla back at me. Talk to me. I don't talk back. Yeah. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all the things the YouTubers say, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.